Hello and welcome. You voted it in the stories. I have both of the Cosmic Brushes new palettes, the Nudetrals and Cutrals, and as you've seen in the title and in the thumbnail, today we're talking about the Nudetrals. I asked on Instagram in my stories if you want to see one video for each palette or if I should put all the looks and all the palettes in one video. You voted with 60% that you want to have one video in each palette, and I'm more than happy to do so. So in this video, you will get a review, and I do 2 looks with this. If you want to see more looks with this palette after you saw the video, please let me know in the comments down below so that I can put it on my little notepad for future videos. And before we head into the 2 tutorials, let me just say, first of all, I said a couple times now in the You Don't Need That Shits when I talked about this palette, and I will also say it in my upcoming Natasha Denona ranking that you will see, I think, next week, that I think Cosmic Brushes Nudetrals is the better Natasha Denona Golden. So stay until the end of the video until you hear my final thoughts if that is really the case, if I really think this. So let's now talk about swatches. I think since the very first time that I tried Cosmic Brushes, I never had anything bad to say about the way these shades swatch. I think they swatch absolutely stunning, and this is one of the few cases where the quality of a swatch, in my opinion, reflects on how they perform with a brush on the eye. The only problem that I a bit have is with the shades Desire and Loks. They have a bit of a weird texture, so they are very hard to pick up with a brush and to apply, but they're much easier to swatch and apply with the fingers. So here I think the swatch performance is a bit better than the actual application experience. I will say in the outro too, but I'm going to warn you, I think this is not a neutral palette. I think this is a warm palette. I think this is a very golden themed palette with a couple of twists, but I do not want to call this a neutral palette. So honestly, the name can be a bit misleading. But now let's head over to the 2 looks and then to my final thoughts. So I'm starting with the shade Bear. That one I apply directly as transition color. Next up I go into Touch, and I use this to slightly deepen the crease. Next up I go into Delicate, and I use this here on that outer part and also bring it in the crease. Flat brush, I now go into Timeless. Use this to darken the upper lash line. Glitter glue is on, and now I tap into Desire. And I start to apply this on the outer half of my lid. This shade reminds me of a shade that I definitely saw already in the Sumerian Sunset from Adept Cosmetics that I decluttered. Even in texture, this was similar because this is one of those more satiny but squishy shades, but not flaky shades. Next up I go into Glamorous, and that one I use to fill in the rest of the lid. And where both shades meet, I just take Glamorous and swipe it here on top of that line to just kind of gradient it into the other shade. I'm in desperate need of a different word to describe this. On my lower waterline, I'm applying the Smog eyeliner from Urban Decay. I'm now going into Classy, and that one I use to just smudge it along the lash line a bit. And I then also go into Touch again, and I use this to blend it out even further down and warm it up even more. I now tap into Radiant, which seems to be a beautiful duochrome, like golden greenish, maybe, I don't know. And I apply this here on the inner corner. Okay, it's matching the shift of that other shade that I used. Which one was it? Desire. Yes, Desire. The inner corner just shifts like yellowish golden orange. And a tad bit of red, I'd even say. It's like this shade, again, I never know how the camera's picking it up, but what I see with my eyes is that this shade Radiant basically has the shifts of Desire, while Desire has a greenish base, at least when I look directly into the pan, and Radiant has a transparent base. And here we have now the first finished look. For the lips, I used MAC lip liner in Oak, and I topped it off with the V Cosmetics Spellbinding Gloss in the shade, well, Spellbound. Honestly, this first look is exactly what I was expecting from this palette, and it kind of is exactly how the outer packaging looks, and I hope future me will remember, because I am actually planning for the second look to do something with these more warmy purples and these like grayish greens. I kind of want to combine them, maybe even that mustard shade here that looks just utterly disgusting to my eyes, but I want to try to incorporate this. So yeah, first look, I love it. I said it in the intro, I think this is the better golden, and so far from look number one, I still stand by that. This is the better Natasha Denona golden palette, so let's now head over to look number two. I definitely need to have a serious talk with Past Me, because I don't know what drug she's on, but I just remembered that I was saying in the first look that I will be incorporating Icon, this utterly disgusting puke mustard shade, and I hate myself for saying that, but I also, I do what I say, so I will start with this shade today. And I took quite a small brush and I start to blend this here on the inner crease part. I now go into Tease and I start to apply this where the puke mustard ends. Blend this a bit on top of Icon and then also bring it outwards and up into the transition area too. I now go into Lust, and that one I tap here on the outer quarter, outer third thing. Blend that out into the upper lash line and a bit in the crease, but not too much. I just want to have the most darkest part really out here. With a fluffy brush, I now go into Chic, and that one I use very, very light-handed here around this edge to soften the blend. Glitter glue is on, and now I go into Tender, and I tap this here on top of the darkest part of the lid. Next up, I go into Velvet. That one I tap here in the center. And now I go into Loks, and that one I just use to fill in the rest. I'm lining my lower waterline now with the Victoria Beckham Brightening Eye Pencil. I don't think that there is a real liner color that is matching this, so I'm just brightening that area. I now go into Lust again, and I apply this directly on that lash line here. And I now go into the shade Gentle, and I smudge this on top and underneath that purple. I now go into Satin, and that one I apply as inner corner highlight, and there's literally nothing. So I picked up a tad bit more, and oh, hello, there's the pigment. And here we have now the finished look. For the lips, I used the MAC lip liner in Oak. Then I topped it off with the Isamaya Dipstick in the shade Chalice. And I also used another gloss, this time the V Cosmetics Spellbinding Lip Gloss in the shade Sunlight. I thought this super metally bronze look is just very matching to the lips. I do like this look surprisingly much, although I incorporated this ugly mustard shade. I would even say that I like this more than the first look. What do you think? Which one is your fave? Now let's talk about the palette itself. I said it in the intro, it was my thought that this is the better version of Natasha Denona Golden, and I would love to correct myself. I don't think that this is the better version. This is the indie version of Natasha Denona Golden with a better twist and execution. One of my main critique points with Natasha Denona Golden was the fact that this is not... there was not a lot of variety when it came to depth level. A lot of the mattes were the same. We had only one shade to deepen the looks, and there was just not a lot of variety going on, although it is a 15-pan palette. At the end, every look will look the same, which is fine with a monochromatic palette in general, but even in the same tone family, there is a possible variation doable. Doable? You know what I mean. This one, the Neutrals palette, executed that much, much better. First of all, you have, even with the light mattes like Chic and Bare, completely different. Tease, Touch, they are completely different. Tease, Gentle, completely different undertones, yes. And Rumor, even the light Transition or blending shades are so different to each other in their undertones that they all have a purpose in the palette. Same with the more midtones, like classy. I would say gentle is also more midtone, delicate, icon. And for the dark tones, you can build up even delicate, or you can use the black with timeless. Lost with this super intense purple is just more variation in general. So you can, even though you have a warm goldenish palette, you can just turn the directions a bit different here. I don't think it would be super fair to say that the shimmers in this or the other are better or not, because it is at the end still an indie palette, and the approach of indie palettes is always a bit louder. So I don't want to say that the shimmers are so much better. I'd say these are the indie shimmers. Natasha Denona is of course the more mainstream shimmer. But when we only talk about the mattes and the topic, I think that one is executed much better. And the shimmers just give it the indie twist. You know me, warm gold neutrals are not so much my vibe, but still I got super excited with this palette, especially because a lot of people were after my golden review like, oh my god, you're a golden girl. Do not try to argue with me on that. And you're right, I am a warm golden girl, but I just prefer the cool tones over that one. This palette, in my opinion, though, is definitely worth it. Even for me as an intense color lover, as someone who is more, at this time of my life, more into like gothic vibes, who is more into Asian intense vibes, Cosmic Brushes just executed this topic so good. What I want to criticize here is the fact that this is called the Neutrals. Honestly, she could have named this actually the Warmtrals, because this is, in my opinion, not a neutral palette. This is a warm tone palette. This is not neutral. This is warm toned. So I'm actually questioning, like, what would a warm tone palette look like from Cosmic Brushes? This is already very warm. But to be honest, like usual with Cosmic Brushes, very, very good palette. Quality wise, I do not have to say anything bad about this. What I realized is that Desire and Loks, they are the same weird formulation as some of the newer Adept Cosmetics multichromes. They look kind of satiny, velvety. They have a certain amount of binding component in them that makes them not too squishy, like Odin's Eye, too much binding component squishy. They are not flaky, but there is like this tad bit too much of binding component in them, which makes them hard to pick up actually. When you touch them with the finger and swatch them, no problem. But I had, especially with Loks, a hard time picking up that shade without digging the brush into it. But that's the biggest critique that I have. Everything else, very, very pretty, very, very beautiful. I love these shades. I love especially Radiant. I have shades like this 1,000 times already, but you know me, transparent bases with just unexpected shifts, they're like a sweet spot for me. Does this palette get a recommendation of mine? Absolutely, yes. I'm not affiliated with Cosmic Brushes, but my friend Jen from Jensbeautynest is. So if you want to buy this, I highly recommend using her code JBN10. It saves you 10% and she gets, of course, commission since this is an affiliate code. What do you think about this palette? Let me please know down below. Make sure to subscribe because tomorrow, so the next video you will see is actually with the Cooltrals, and I am beyond excited for this. Oh, and if you want to comment something, but you do not have an opinion on the palette, you have not tried Cosmic Brushes and you don't want to rank any look whatsoever, just comment neutrals. So thank you as always so much for watching. See you in the next one.